الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نحمد الله تعالى ونصلي على رسول الله الكريم. أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وما أصابكم من مصيبة فبما كسبت أيديكم ويعفو عن كثير. وقال عليه الصلاة والسلام: كان إذا حزبه أمر فزع إلى الصلاة. عن حذيفة بن اليمان رضي الله عنه. My dear respected brothers and elders, and mothers, sisters, youngsters and friends, so Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tries us, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tests us, and we know very recently about another shooting. Fortunately this time, alhamdulillah, neither the shooting or the shooter, the one that was targeted, are Muslims, but unfortunately, sadly, tragically, we lost one of ours. My heartfelt condolences go out to the family, to the mother, to the siblings, to the father of the one who was unfortunately killed. It was very tragic. It was a young 15-year-old boy who was just coming back home from school, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decreed that his time in this world was up. Time, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given for every single one of us to go. And what that time may be, not a single one of us knows. So before that time comes, let every single one of us prepare to go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But as long as we're here, Allah ta'ala will continue to try us and test us. This is the sunnah of Allah. This is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala works. At times, I said this before, Allah will test us and try us on an individual basis. Allah ta'ala will test us as a community at other times. Allah will test us universally or globally. Allah ta'ala will test us though. There's nobody that came into this world that could claim that they left, they enjoyed, they lived a wonderful, prosperous, glorious life, and they were never tried and tested by Allah. Those that are beloved to Allah, Allah ta'ala does test them. It starts with the prophets at the very top of the line, and then it continues with those that are more beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala than others, then those after them, and Allah ta'ala just continues like this. So we will all be tested. Perhaps the family of that individual is being tested now. This is what we know of. But there are others amongst us here now that Allah ta'ala is testing that others don't know of. But Allah ta'ala tests. Now when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses to test us, there are those, that completely give up. There are those that throw in the towel and don't bother looking ahead. They don't bother moving on. They understand, or they fail to understand rather, that this is a world of trials and tribulations. إن عظم الجزاء مع عظم البلاء وإن الله تعالى إذا أحب قوما ابتلاهم فمن رضي فله الرضا ومن سخط فله السخط. Allah Ta'ala will test us. And the greater, the more elite, the greater the test that comes to us from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There are those that forbear, there are those that bear and endure. There are those that take whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them. And mind you, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. Allah will never ever make anybody have to endure and bear more than what they possibly can. Somebody said it amazingly. We have everything at this time that we need to deal with anything that anyone can throw at us. Whatever it is, any hardship that comes our way, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us this in the Holy Quran, that we have. Allah ta'ala has built us, Allah ta'ala has made us such. We are equipped with whatever it is we need to be able to bear and enjoy that hardship and difficulty. But there is one category of people, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala save us, they completely give up. They lose hope and they despair. They become despondent, they don't look ahead. They lose. There's a second category of people. They continue to move forward, but in the wrong direction. They start going after the wrong channels. They continue moving forward, but in the wrong direction. They need to re-navigate. They need to set straight their compass. Their focus is not in the right direction. These people, unfortunately, also lose. And this is not what is expected of the believer. Neither A nor B. Nor do we don't lose hope. Neither do we lose hope, nor do we go looking where Allah Ta'ala has sometimes discouraged us to look, or sometimes we aren't expected to be looking there in the first place. Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala tested us, and Allah showed us through the teachings of the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam where to look for the solution to that problem as well. It isn't that the believer, there's no stone unturned or untouched. It's not that the believer doesn't know. Where is it that I navigate? What do I do now? Where do I go? Allah has given us these solutions through the auspicious, noble teachings of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Again, it's not just for this family. This goes for every single one of us here. And if there's nothing going on in your life at this moment in time, alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen, lest we forget the 1.9 million Muslims in India as we speak who fear losing their Indian citizenship. Or since 2017, the 800,000 to 2 million Uyghur Muslims that have perhaps been detained until now. And what the future has holding for these people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone knows. What is the solution? What do we do? Yes, there are those that like to post articles. There are those that make statements. There are those that, this is wonderful to raise awareness. If you already have the awareness, if Allah Ta'ala has already made you aware of what's going on, sometimes in our own communities, what's going on in our own city, the gangs, the guns, the violence, this continues to go on, unfortunately and sadly. And what goes on in the entire world, we have the awareness. And I hope every single one of us is aware, because we're living in this world and the times are very difficult. So we have to know exactly what's going on, because there's nobody that was more well informed and engaged and active like the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So what is it that we do after we become aware? We turn to Allah. But how? Number one, كَانَ إِذَا حَزَبَهُ أَمْرٌ فَزَعَ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ. The Prophet ﷺ, whenever he happened to face any difficulty, he would at once resort to salah. You know, I ask myself this question first, not to offend anybody else. For these 2 million Muslims in China, East Turkestan, or for these 1.9 million Muslims in India, or for all the other Muslims that are being oppressed throughout the world, or for anybody that may be undergoing any hardship or difficulty at this time, have I ever once even performed 2 rakats of nafil salah? Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu was mounted on his conveyance, and he was given the sad news of the death of the al-Mu'mineen, one of the wives of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Immediately dismounts, gets down, performs his 2 rakats of salah, and he tells the one that's with him at the time, I've done exactly what Allah has ordered me to do. وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ. There's problems, there's tragedies, there's sad news and difficulties. This is what we've been ordered to do. I have never, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive me, even performed 2 rakats of salah for any one of them yet. And these are divine teachings. Like this is the remedy. You can't go wrong. It's not that it might work for him and it might not work for them and it might work for that group of people. No. This will most definitely bring about ease. This will bring about a change. Yes, awareness is there. Yes, on the 26th, this Sunday in Queen's Park, there's going to be a protest for, yes, we're going to be there. Wonderful and excellent. But wait, let's not forget the prophetic teachings. Let us turn to Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Whenever any hardship or difficulty befell him, he would at once resort to salah. And he would say, جُعِلَتْ قُرَّةُ عَيْنِي فِي الصَّلَاةِ. This is where I find the coolness of my eyes. In salah, he finds peace. He finds coolness. This is what the attitude of the believer is expected to be. This is what we're supposed to turn to as well. Turn to Allah through the actions, through the a'mal of the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Number one. Number two, to make dua. We make dua for my problems. We make dua for my wife, for my kids, for everybody that's related to me and everybody that What about those, by and large, the entire Muslim ummah throughout the world? Have I ever made an exclusive dua for these people? There are amongst us, yes, perhaps many of you do. But those of us that are aware, this is time. If there was ever a time in the city, in the country, in the world, this is the time when dua, Allah Ta'ala tells us again, Allah Ta'ala tells us in the Holy Quran, أَمَّن يُجِيبُ الْمُضْطَرَّ إِذَا دَعَاهُ وَيَكْشِفُ السُّوءَ. Is it not Allah who replies to the call of the one who is in distress, the one who's dejected in spirit, the one who's about to lose hope? Wait, turn to Allah. We complain to others. You know, I thought about something the other day. I went to see someone, and lo and behold, I was just there to try to to pacify them and bring a little ease to them. I ended up spending 2 hours with this individual who had so much to say. Sometimes we don't even need to say anything. We just sit there and listen for exactly 2 whole hours on a Sunday afternoon. I thought to myself, if we took that much time to complain to Allah, imagine where we possibly would reach spiritually. Imagine if I could raise my hands and speak to Allah about all the problems in the world for 2 consecutive hours. And with the sentiments that this person expressed, and with there was a cry coming from this person's heart, and it was so sad. Imagine if we could address Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like this. This is what Allah wants us to do. Where are you looking anywhere else? Aisha radiallahu anha was seen in the graveyard by a certain individual at that time, another pious individual, a tabi'i perhaps, and he said, "Oh, why don't you make dua for me?" A wonderful opportunity. We say a pious person, "Shaykh, please make dua." You've got the wife of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She says, "Sure, I can make dua for you." But didn't Allah say that He's the one that listens to the call of the one that's dejected in spirit himself? Doesn't Allah want to hear it from you? You're facing the difficulty, you're going through the hardship. Why don't you raise your hands and speak to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala yourself? So Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made dua. Allahumma ayyid al-Islam bi'Amr ibn Hisham or bi'Umar ibn al-Khattab. Oh Allah, strengthen Islam with either one of the two, Abu Jahl or Umar radiyallahu anhu. Allah told the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, "O Prophet, Abu Jahl is not accepting Islam." He said, "Fine. So Abu Jahl, I don't make dua for anymore because Allah Ta'ala told me that he's not going to accept Islam." So he starts making another dua. Allahumma ayyid al-Islam bi'Umar ibn al-Khattab khassatan. He doesn't lose hope. Okay, Abu Jahl's cut out. But wait, Umar ibn Khattab, I still can. So he says, "Oh Allah, strengthen Islam through Umar ibn al-Khattab exclusively." And we know what happens. He's the 52nd to accept Islam. He becomes the second greatest of all time after the Prophet ﷺ. So dua, to make dua exclusively for, Rasulullah made it for individuals taking their names. And there are so many examples of this in the life of Rasulullah ﷺ himself. Number one, to turn to Allah via salah. Number two, to make dua. Make dua, take the names of the individuals that are being persecuted and harassed, that are being treated like this in this manner and that. Complain to Allah. That one exalted being that wants to actually listen to us complain is Allah. Nobody else. I hate to tell you this. Yes, there's some really good people in the world. They go out of their way. They'll lend you a shoulder to cry on. They'll listen to your complaint and they'll give you some advice. But believe you me, eventually, most of us do get fed up. But Allahu yaghdibu in tarakta su'alahu wa bani Adam hina yus'alu yaghdibu. Allah becomes upset when we stop complaining to Him. We've learned to talk to everybody else, and they'll tell you this: "I'm so sorry for taking all your time. I just wanted to talk to someone. I just wanted somebody to hear me out." Well, speak to Allah. Allah wants to hear. Allah wants to see us shed a tear. Allah wants to help. We need to learn to turn to Him. Number three, we need to start giving sadaqah exclusively for this, especially for those that are sick in our families. Rasulullah taught us this as well. We don't see, this is metaphysics, we don't see the connection. Wait, I'm giving sadaqah hoping that Allah will bring about shifa and cure to somebody that's sick in my family? Yes. Why? Because the Prophet ﷺ said so, and that's the bottom line. We have somebody that's sick, turn to Allah through sadaqah, Allah Ta'ala will take care of the rest. We need to start doing this so Allah Ta'ala can maybe, just maybe, this is a punishment. We don't know all these conditions throughout the world. This might just be a punishment. We don't know. So if this is the anger of Allah that we've incurred, then the Prophet ﷺ said, Sadaqatu sirri tutfi'u ghadab al-Rabb. If we want to see the anger of Allah subside and go away, then we need to start giving sadaqah where nobody knows. Start practicing sincerity, then this will make the anger of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala subside. Number 3. Number 4, we start reading and pondering over the Holy Quran. Yes, its recitation extremely meritorious and virtuous, but coupled with this, to read the stories of those of the past, how Allah Ta'ala tried and tested them, and boy were they ever strong. And these tests, these tribulations, only made them stronger. Somebody said in English that hard times create strong men, and then strong men create easy times. Easy times create weak men, and weak men again create hard times. These prophets ﷺ, they were tried and tested by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala like of the highest level. But Rasulullah ﷺ was told by Allah that we tell you these stories so that this can strengthen your heart. The strongest heart the world had ever seen was the heart of the Holy Prophet ﷺ. And even he was told these stories by Allah, so to strengthen him, so that when he was made to undergo hardship like the most, it become easier for him too. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for every single one of us. The announcements, well, we ask the brothers to make the line collections at this time. The total amount raised last Jummah was $2,750.